I'm going to call this meeting to order. Item number 2 is the Pickens County Board of Commissioners called a special call meeting described below, 9 a.m. Thursday, September 28th, Suite 168th Administrative Building located at 1260 Church Street. Going back to item number 2. Item number 2 is a GEFA loan for the Grandview Dam, and I'm going to turn this over to Phil. You want to explain, give a Reader's Digest version of what, an update. Everybody knows what's going on. I think we just need maybe just a small, quick update.
The state of Georgia, EPD believes that we have the obligation to fix Grandview Dam. As we discussed, I disagree with that, but the Grandview Dam Homeowners Association has agreed to take on the liability, the financial responsibility for fixing the dam. But they want to use us as a conduit to obtain the financing necessary for that. We're working on an agreement between the Grandview folks and the county as far as Grandview taking on responsibility, that financial responsibility. They will pledge a security interest in the lake to the county for the security of that dam. The county does not have will not have the right to levy any special assessments against the Grandview Homeowner Association, unlike we would if we were dealing with the Never Been Tree. Their covenants are just set up a little differently. But this ensures that their concern is they want to ensure that Grandview Lake remains private, and as long as they meet the demands, the requirements of the agreement, it should. We would, and so they would be responsible. They've agreed to be responsible for the cost of the repair of the dam. The second phase of this will be a water treatment plant there next to the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army has agreed to give us the property for the purpose of putting a treatment facility on it. And then we would do that and put the infrastructure in the ground as far as for the distribution system. That would be a sole county expense. Grandview will not be responsible for any of that. The GEFA loan, the documents that we have, they're not really ready to execute the documents and move on with that. I'd like to get the Grandview agreement in place first, and then we've got to get the auditor's letter in place. There is a resolution in there as far as authorizing the chair and the vice chair to execute the loan documents when we're ready. If you wanted to, we could go ahead and do that. But if you would like for either myself or Faye or somebody to send you the loan documents to let you look at them and see if you have any other questions, then I'll just brief overview of it. We've talked a good bit about the concept and the interaction with Grandview. I realize that. I think that as well as that this was on the horizon.
And it gives, when everything clears out and the smoke kind of dies down, it gives something for the public of Pickens County, especially the citizens there, and they've been wanting a reservoir for the future. Finally, we get one with a little bit of help and a whole lot less costly to partner with Grandview to make that happen. And then
that's something I kind of didn't really go into detail about, but part of that agreement is that Grandview has obtained a withdrawal permit from EPD. They're going to transfer that to the county in perpetuity, so we would have the ability to draw out of Grandview. That would serve that treatment plant that we will eventually build on Salvation Army.
And the permit is if I'm not mistaken, 333,000 gallons a day that can be withdrawn out of Grandview Lake for Pickens County. Pickens County then will have its own water system, their own water resourcing and on from that point.
If it's not too much trouble, could they send us the papers on
like the loan agreement would be the main thing I would look at if I were y'all. Look at all of it, but that's going to have the meat of what the county's obligations are and responsibilities. But it's fairly standard boilerplate. I mean, it's favored toward the lender, but they've got the goal, they make the rule.
What was the go ahead and what was the interest rate on that?
It's a 2.34 or 2. Is that right?
Yeah, that was the interest rate.
So it's better than what we would receive conventionally. This is about the only way we figured. If we lose the legal fight as far as who has the duty to repair the dam, if we said, if we told EPD we're not gonna do it, and we don't think that we have the responsibility to do it, if we lose that legal fight, then all of the taxpayers have to share in the cost of this. And so this may be it may be your only, it may be your best vehicle to get the dam repaired without it, with it only being a burden on the people that's going to benefit the Grandview Lake people.
Now, they had a certain amount they were going to put in it. Was it like $1 million?
2.5. The loan to repair the dam is a little over $2 million, and they're agreeing to pay for all of that. The 1.8, there's another, the second phase of this, the water treatment plant
Is 1 point.
This one's 2.6, the other one's 1.4.
1.4,
Yeah.
okay. And then the 1.4, we would solely be responsible for, because we're gonna use that for water distribution.
The 2.2 though, wasn't it, for the repair of the dam plus the construction of the water treatment plant? I believe that's correct.
Is the water, okay, that's the one.
Yeah, it's, the cost to repair the dam was what, about $1.5 million?
$1.5 million, somewhere around $1.5 million.
Balance for the balance.
And it had some extra in case of, because this thing had run on some time, we figured with cost of fuel and expenses, it probably
Will
was.
that- Will that need to be redid?
I need.
I think we've got it approved, it's already approved through GEFA. GEFA was comfortable with the contractor that was already on site. So I don't think it's got to be rebid. The way I read the documents, it didn't have to be rebid. They were going to go ahead and accept it as is because it's a public-private partnership between, more or less between Pickens County and Grandview LLC, I believe that.
We've got to comply with public works law.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Chris Poche has done that, he may have already
Yeah.
done that.
When do you think this will be ready?
Well, if I'm not speaking out of turn, talked to Peter Wilcox 2 or 3 weeks ago. They were trying to get with Mr. Woolsey, that I think is an EPD rep, that they were trying to get the construction, now that it's drug on, now we're ready to start pulling the trigger on this thing. They don't want EPD and as well as some of the engineering company don't want to work on this dam during the wintertime. With the rains, the snows, the mud and all that. So they would like to postpone it till spring, early spring when things start drying up, and they go in there and then go ahead and start getting the dam repaired and proceeding on with that. It's what I was told.
And that's my understanding, we just need to make, there's an effect, if we don't draw on this before February of next year, I believe, we have to pay the fee, and we need to get that way for our drainage.
Yeah.
If that's their concern. But Grandview has spent probably $400,000 or $500,000 already in engineering costs on this. So they're.
And the purpose of this meeting here is to at least get y'all abreast of the situation, as well as keep the ball rolling on this, because this GEFA loan, we do not want to lose it. So we need to put something in writing pretty quick. And what I mean pretty quick, I think we got a few weeks, but we need to get something in writing saying that we do want this loan before this money goes somewhere else. And because this is a pretty expensive project.
Will we pick up more water customers to offset the debt, or how will that play?
That's the plan. The second phase of the debt is that we will, that's the purpose of using the water, is to use those new customers to offset the debt. There'll be some period of time where we don't have the customers and we're obligated to pay the debt, which will be something to plan for. The structure of the initial loan is this interest only until the improvements are completed, and at that point in time it amortizes roughly 30 years. But there's no prepayment penalty in it, so we should be able to pay. The Grandview stuff should come in, their obligations should come in fairly quickly.
And this is also, and if I may interject, that this is also a loan that planned for the water department to pay it off. It's not, even though the taxpayers of Pickens County, pardon?
It's more like an
Yeah, it's an enterprise loan, and it's not like the taxpayers of Pickens County's gotta, all the taxpayers gotta pay for it because they're all in Pickens County. But the taxpayers of Pickens County tax base is guaranteeing the note, but the note is actually gonna be paid back through the water department of Pickens County, through the water customers that are using the water. It's what Phil said earlier, it's kind of an enterprise fund, that's how we've been doing it all the time.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
But my point is there may be a period of time where the general fund has to support it as we build up that customer base.
And as the general fund, if the general fund has to support it, as we have done many years ago, we have put that money, those notations in the audit to the fact that as we go forward, then the water department then has to pay the county back for those funds that it has expended. That's what the overall goal is. But all that being said, it does give Pickens County the ability to have a reservoir. Call it what you will, but if we can pull 333,000 gallons a day out of a lake, we're doing well. Doing well. Do we need to have a vote or anything on that, Phil? Or?
Maybe it might be more appropriate let Fay and I distribute the materials to y'all, and then we put it on the agenda for the October meeting for y'all to sign that resolution authorizing the chair and vice chair to execute documents when that time comes. If that would work.
All right, takes care of item number 2. Item number 3 is the dangerous dog ordinance. I know that has been, I believe that has been mentioned in paper and maybe in email form and texting. I haven't heard much about it. Oh, yeah, right. We have got a resolution here that public health is needing this passed to persuasion of OCGA 44-8-23, the Pickens County Board of Health shall be designated as the authority as defined in the statute to hear appeals from decisions of the dangerous dog officer. So this gives the dangerous dog officer the ability to go to, and the client the ability to go through Board of Health, since the Board of Health is the one that determines if it's a vicious animal or not, gives them the ability for the appeal process. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we would like to go ahead and get that adopted today. Move we adopt it.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions? Phil, you got any questions on this? Okay, we have a move and a second. No further questions. All in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, Lisa. Let's Lisa, there you go here. Brings us down to item number 4. What this is, the DOT, it's a memorandum of understanding for the utility aid for the Department of Transportation in regard to State Road 53 from east of 4 Mile Church Road to east of Wilkie Road by contract through a competitive bidding and process. This was worked up through, I believe, Philip, through Turnip Seed Engineering.
Yeah.
That does our water and handles all of our water engineering. Under engineer agreement to be required, no. Contract item to be required, no. This is pretty well, I don't think it has to be voted on today, but it's something that y'all need to go through and read. Pretty well, get to the meat of the bones on this thing. It's if we've got a water line in DOT right of way for whatever reason, or even if we've got a water line outside the DOT right of way and they decide to expand a road, put in passing lanes or whatever, then we're obligated to move the line.
Yeah, but then we go through a process, and if, we have to send in our audit and everything, and if we meet their requirements, they pay for the cost of relocating it, because we can't budget every DOT project. I mean, because I think this one right here was $600,000. If you budget that in, then everybody across, the county's gonna be paying for something that happens in Marble Hill. And the DOT understands that, but we have to go through this process to get them to pay for the relocation, the contractor, and such. And this right here, I talked to June yesterday, and she needs this back fairly quick to keep the ball rolling.
And this is for those passing lanes?
This
going
is
up
for,
53?
yes.
I've read through it twice. What I got out of the thing was that we're gonna have to pay for all those relocation lines.
Well, and I was reading right here, it says, in the third paragraph, whereas the owner has requested the department funds the cost associated with these adjustments and relocations, the department has agreed this request, and the owner does not have adequate equipment staff to adjust its facilities. It says the department funds the cost, so I'm taking it as the DOT is gonna pay, pay for the relocation.
But it says
And
the
I
owner
can
will provide,
contact-
it says the owner will provide additional temporary and permanent easements at its own expense for any work outside of the acquisition limits shown on the project right-of-way plans. I haven't seen the plans, but she wants us to go ahead and.
Well, they've done acquired all the extra right of way. They've done got it marked up 53. And from my understanding, which we're gonna be on the back 5
Yeah.
of the right of way, so we're not,
That's on the outside.
yeah. It's like we're the power company, it's us and then the power company. I can call back June back today if she's back in town and, speak further with her about it. Because she's the utility manager for the deal.
How soon does she need this back, did she say?
Pretty quick, cause
What-
she
what-
called
what-
me,
what-
she called
pretty
me.
quick?
Well, she
Today?
called me, Monday, I think, and asked me when I could get this back.
When did we receive this?
When we was out.
When I was in Florida,
Yeah.
on that damage down there? Well, they give us. Well, if they're gonna expedite this project as fast as they did that bridge on, I-85, then I ain't got no complaints. If they're gonna drag it out another 4 years after we signed our life away, I've got a problem with it.
I talked to, when we was at that, DOT, the meeting for the 136 bridge,
Yeah.
I asked them about this, and they said hopefully, next spring, they're gonna get started on it. Cause they done purchased several houses up through there, and people's had to relocate, and so they're getting on it, from what I've gathered from talking with the engineers at DOT, they're gonna get on it fairly quick.
All right, let me,
I'm not,
would you have time sometime today to just review this, see what you think? And that being said, I'd like, if y'all are willing, I'd like for Phil, at least can I take today and?
yeah,
and have-
no, I mean,
to
I told
review
them
it?
it was,
Let Phil review it to see if I'm missing something. And then, but that being said, if she's needing it quickly, would it be appropriate, Mr. Landon, that once me and you have time to review this, that if we don't see anything wrong with this contract, that they could give me the authority to go ahead and sign it?
Y'all can vote to approve it, so y'all can vote to execute it, so consider.
If we see something squirrely with it, we can give you all a call or have Phil, what do you think?
Just put it back on there. Do a call meeting. If there's something wrong with it, y'all do a call meeting after your work session.
and I will call her back today and just make sure that we're not responsible, we won't be responsible for anything. And she'll be able to she'll be able to tell me that,
Tell her-
you're
tell
going
her
to have
we-
this much, pay this much, or
Okay.
we're paying the full, full amount.
That being said, y'all want me to move this? Oh,
Yes, yeah, it's all in, I got the emails, yeah.
Forward that to.
With this in it?
No,
Or all of them?
after you get that.
Okay, I will.
I'll make a motion, we approve it subject to Phil's review.
Okay. Second. Moving second, to approve any further discussion. None being all that favor, let know by saying aye. None opposed. And, pardon? And then, call her and tell her that our attorney and myself are gonna review this thing today. Hopefully, if nothing, we don't see any blurps, we can get this thing to her tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
But I wanna be sure,
Yeah, because we'll have another one coming up with the Talking Rock Bridge too, so.
yeah.
And then,
Well, I got you two sitting here, and I know, one or two of y'all need to get going. Talking Rock Bridge, give them a quickie on Talking Rock Bridge. That's the one at 136 off of Burnt Mountain
At
Road.
Burnt Mountain right there at, Sammy Collins,
Yeah.
They deemed that bridge not safe no more, so they're gonna build a new bridge. They had several options, you know, plans in place. One was to put it on the north side, you know, and the other was to leave it in the same place and reroute traffic 17 miles detour. That was, you know, a no-go because of the EMS and school and all that, so they decided to put it on the south side of the bridge, which on the south side of the bridge is where we're at. And they're gonna do, it's gonna be like they're going 2,000 foot from right there, Sammy's barn, or the barn right there at Jack's, all the way back to the intersection. They're gonna redo the whole intersection. And so we have to move, because they'll be right in the middle of the road, so we're gonna have to move on the back side of the right of way. We had our preliminary meeting last month, and it was just sort of to get an idea of what it was. And that being said, I asked June there, you know, about the funds, and she said that we're taking care of that, because it was, you know, the floodplain's right there.
Okay. That bridge was put in 50, 60 years
Yeah.
ago, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would that come out of SLOST?
Hopefully, the way I'm looking at it, I'm on the DOT to pay for the whole thing. Not take, yeah, because that's a state highway.
Oh, good.
So that's actually 136 state highway right there. So when that thing comes to fruition, we'll try to keep abreast of the situation. So you're saying another document like we're having to review right now?
Probably so, because we're having to do the same thing, send in a cost estimate sheet, you know, Lamar at Turnip Seed's drawing up plans, so it will probably end up just like this.
Okay. All right. Well, that was what was on the agenda. Is there anything else we need to know just for informational purposes? We can't, don't know if we can vote on that thing.
Should probably say when we talk about the Grandview matter. As y'all know, I've got our bond attorney helping us with the GEFA loan and helping with the contract. And he's with a new firm, and we need, this is just the engagement letter saying that he represents us and the rate and all that. But if I could get
You need to move in a second. If that,
just a,
you'll have a problem getting them.
but
It's the same,
it's Matt Nichols.
Matt Nichols.
With before. He's just with a different firm.
Would it be expedient to go ahead and just get a move in a second for me to go ahead and sign this engagement letter?
Move.
Second.
Having a move in a second, any further discussion? None being all in favor, let them saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. Have we got anything else? Well, we've got them all. Miss Lisa, you got anything?
No, we're good.
All right. And I know, Becky, I know you got the one other thing, and I want y'all to think about it and run it. We do these work sessions. They're strictly work sessions. We don't vote on work sessions. I know Deborah's had issues in the past. Lisa has seen some issues with it. And I see what the issue is the fact that we can't come up with enough topics at spur to put on this work session. So we wanted to ask Phil and you two, while everybody's sitting here, on these work session agendas, can we just put down what we know, and then at the bottom, very bottom line, if it's the third or fourth line, or any other topic that may come up? Is that appropriate?
Well, you can always amend the agenda. You can always have.
But it's a
General discussion.
But my statement is it's a work session, so there's not going to be any voting during the work session, so what difference does it make?
Have at the end of each agenda, general discussion.
Well, we could do that. All right, did you hear that, Ms. Lisa?
I did.
All right, y'all approve that
You
one?
have, the low cleric unfortunately requires you to have a work session.
Right. Well, and again, I'm gonna go back to my original statement. I don't mind having meetings, but I want to have meetings that are productive, and if I'm not having a meeting just to have a meeting.
Exactly.
So if there's nothing yet a work session to do or whatever, I don't have a problem asking to go ahead and cancel it and we proceed on. And, but anyway, I just want to clarify that while we got everybody together, that it just struggles sometimes to get enough stuff on these work sessions. All right, any other topics y'all need to discuss? Phil, Lisa,
No, I'm good.
Faye?
Thank you.
guys?
How about cleanup? How's it going?
We should be finished with the cleanup either this evening or Friday. And that reminds me, and thank you, I want to thank the road department, the water department, and the sheriff's department, as well as some of the inmates, because I did put the guys on 10 hours a day last week, except for Friday. while the kids were out of school, to get the roads cleaned up. Kimmer, they're this week they've been going out hitting spots on other roads, and he had, gosh, he gave me the mileage a while ago, yesterday, it was over 180 something miles of roads they have all cleaned up. And I sent 2 representatives to EPD, not EPD, well, I guess it was EPD, over Carsville. Hopefully we're gonna get some money back from the feds if everything goes through. We spent, Pickens County taxpayers spent over 100 and, don't hold me to it, I think it was $112,000 just for labor and cleanup and gas for this little incident. If we can get this done, get it over with, we gotta get back to finish our paving. We've got water lines up on Jones Mountain Road we've got to finish up, so that's what's coming. But they should, Kim said unless something comes up he's not aware of, he should be completely done by tomorrow. Phil, you heard anything different?
No, I heard the same thing.
All right, that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much.